What up, though? Welcome to the Boss of Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Professor Curt Steele. The Detroit Lions head into Arrowhead Stadium for Sunday Night Football. On today's show, man, I look at strategies the Lions could use to get that victory versus the Chiefs. Do the channel a quick favor, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us with that YouTube algorithm and get this content out to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. And you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, man. First of all, shout out to our channel members, man. If you don't know, here they go. Of course, you got T-Bone Locks, Sean Bird, Lauren Vander Esch, Brent DeWint, Miss Mary Smith, John Martin, Kukayam, Kenneth Sabo, Dr. Detroit, the doctor. He is always in. Jay Cruz in 71, James Willis, Leonard Huff, the Trent Reaper, and Mile Mocker 301. So shout out to our channel members, man. We appreciate you guys being on the channel, and it's another way to help us grow the content on our platform. Of course, man, good morning. My name is Curt Steele, and welcome to the show. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, man. We are on our way to 3,100 subscribers, and we currently sit at 3,026. If you are new to this channel and you don't know how our show works, we look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up with that big blade dance. If we disagree, we say they are balled on. And we give our reasons why we agree or disagree. No hot takes here. I get that Stephen A stuff over there, like the guy on ESPN or whatever going on over there on Fox Sports, man. We give our true thoughts and opinions about what's going on with our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. But for live shows, I want to do it a little differently, a little more interactive, man. If you agree with what I'm saying, put hashtag bossed up in the take. Or if you disagree, put hashtag balled on and tell me why, man. We'll put it on the screen, maybe talk about it. So let's get into why we are here today. The Lions got a big game this weekend, of course, with the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. Let's see who's in the chat this morning. My man Lauren, everybody said, what up, though? What up, though? Lauren Vander S. Carrie is in the building, say, hey, boss, what up, though? What's going on, man? Pierce Sargent says, morning, all good. Morning there, Pierce. All right, so the Lions have a big game coming up in this weekend versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are currently 2.5 points favorites. It is what it is. They have a losing record, but we're playing in their stadium and we're coming in at 4-1. But let's look at some of the offensive strategies that the Detroit Lions can use to get this victory on Sunday Night Football. You know, the Lions are pretty good in primetime games. I don't think Jared Goff's lost too many of those, and I don't think neither has Dan Campbell as the head coach of the Detroit Lions. So let's kind of look at some of the strategies. All right, so now that my man Big Skip, Dan Skipper, is back on the 53-man roster, we can use him as the oversized tight end or the extra tackle in the run game. You know, we talked about earlier on Lions Talk Live when I was talking with Coach Dan, we're talking about 12 personnel. Well, the Lions use Skip a lot in those big, heavy run sets as the extra tight end. They called him eligible, or he was just that big extra lineman at the end of the line. That's really was a key part of our run offense the last couple of years. Now, Dan Skipper, he was injured in camp. So when he came out and he wasn't on the 53-man roster, I was like, what's going on with Skip? But come to find out, he was injured, but they signed him to the practice squad, let him heal up. So they kept him in-house and just let him come in and heal. And then now that he's back healthy, they signed him to the 53-man roster the other day. We'll update that here in a little bit. But the Chiefs have the 21st ranked run defense. So, and this strategy, what I'm talking about right now, is contingent on Taylor Decker playing. And I said this in the chat over there, Lions Talk Live earlier, that Taylor Decker said to Dave Burkett that he was trending towards playing, despite not having practice this week, kind of having that same kind of Calvin Johnson or Frank Ragnow treatment where he is, you know, not practicing during the week, but he plays on Sunday. So looking at this, the heavy offensive line is a tactic that the Lions use effectively in the past with Dan Skipper. I just think that they can do that. He's on that active roster, man. And you look at what the Chiefs, their run defense isn't great. It's good, but it isn't great. You can use Dan Skipper in that rushing attack with Sonic and Knuckles, man, with that heavy set to keep Patrick Mahomes on the sidelines. You control that clock and keep that passing attack on the sidelines. Another thing that I'm looking at is Sam Laporta. Right, Sam Laporta is the best tight end that the Chiefs defense has faced this season, hands down. Now, with that 12 personnel, you can run a lot of play action off of that matchup, man. And then I think that Laporta is a matchup nightmare for the Chiefs linebackers and DBs, man, because they don't have like really blazing. I think Bolton has some decent speed, but no, their linebackers aren't really fast, and their DBs are kind of small. So you can get that matchup with Laporta, man. He had that breakout game last week versus the Bengals, and I don't see why that can't carry over into this game versus the Chiefs. Sam I Am caught 5 passes last week on 6 targets for 92 yards and a touchdown. That's a hell of a day for a tight end, man, and I think he can have that same production against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the last kind of thing I'm looking at is stretching the Chiefs secondary. They give up a good amount of yards. Now I'm saying that they have a bad secondary, but they're just not as good as they used to be. And you can do that, man. And looking at some of the research, and I did look at the passing chart of the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Chiefs last week. They have some good deep shots they can take. And you're looking at what J-Mo and Tesla can do with stretching this defense. And I mentioned this with strategy in the previous strategies to play action. You can take the play action, not just for Laporta, but you can use J-Mo and Tesla or Sweet Tea in this as well. So you look at this, I'm like, you can get some matchup nightmares with these guys down the field. And then once you get those guys, man, coming in, you know what I'm saying, drawing down to the box, you know, in the run game, you can use it to get those guys, Tesla and J-Mo, down the field, man. Some deep shots or some deep crossers, because they give up a good amount of passes in the short to intermediate passing range. But once they can get those safeties to kind of commit toward the run, you can get some shots in down behind them. And you look at that deep crossing route like Sweet Tea ran on that touchdown from Goff late in that fourth quarter versus the Bengals. I think that route could be open in this game versus the Kansas City Chiefs, because you look at it, that last drive for the Jacksonville Jaguars when they went go ahead touchdown, that was a big route, was a nice out route. Well, it was actually a crossing route where the guy ended up on the sidelines where he came all the way across the field, but it was a good 20 yards down the field when he caught that pass. So you look at that, man. Tesla has gotten the bulk of the reps at third wide receiver this week because of Khalif Raymond being limited to that neck injury. So he should be ready to play this week. For J-Mo, I just think J-Mo needs to keep doing what he's doing. Keep running his routes. Keep taking the coverages away from the interior of our interior to secondary, where they dedicating 2 guys on him, man. Keep blocking. The targets are going to come for him. I'm not worried about J-Mo, because eventually they're going to have to stop doubling him because they're getting beat so bad by St. Brown, Laporta, and Tesla and all the other guys on that Lions offense, man. So looking at that, what do you guys think, man, about the strategies on the offensive side of the ball? Let's go on over to the chat to see what's going on this morning, man. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let me scroll back up to the top, man. Of course. All right. God damn, from Lions Talk Lives in the chat saying, woohoo, woo, this morning. Good son. Hey, check out the rebrand of the Michigan Panthers Pride. We changed Michigan Sports Huddle. Check us out. I will do that, Mr. Lauren Vander S. All right, man. Morning, Dan. Overslept today. Up here. All right, Boston's Assemble. What's up there? Who could do? All right. Saw the Branch news. Hope he's okay. I hope he's okay too. There, we gotta lock down Patty Mahomes and hope our abused secondary don't get lit up. We're gonna talk about defense here in a secondary, Lauren. So I ain't forgot about the defense. I'm just gonna talk about that here in a second. All right. Hey, who could do, Coach Dan? Of course, in the building, man. Who could do, Carrie? Good morning. All right, Carrie, top of the morning. Good morning. Who could do all the good stuff, man? Miles Marker 31 said the Lions are 4-1. Yes, right. They are 4-1. Miles Marker is listening. Hands are busy working on a project. Well, thank you. Hey, check this out, man. Lauren Vander S is give 5 boss up, ball out membership. So go and click on that green link, man. thank you for donating those channel memberships to people in the chat, man. So go ahead and check it out. If you want to go ahead and become a member, my man Lauren Vander Esch has made it easy, man. Just click on that green link, man, and get yourself a membership, man. All right, Rocky M says, good morning, Boss Up Bala. Good morning there, Rocky M. It's my day. Oh, okay. All right. So just keep Patty dancing in the circle of lions. Of course, man. You want to do that, man. Hey, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us get this content out to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. And of course, you can check out the Boss Up Ball Out merch shop, man. The link is in the description of this video. You can get yourself some Boss Up Ball Out gear, man. It's another way to help us support the platform. So make sure you check it out, man. If you spend $45, you get 10% off one item. If you are a channel member, you get 15% off of your total order. So make sure you check it out, man. We appreciate your love and support with that as well, man. So we appreciate all that you guys do here. We do this content for you guys because we're fans just like you guys. All right, so let's talk about some stuff we can do on defense because you guys brought it up in the chat, and I got to talk about the defensive side of the ball, man. I think that the Detroit Lions should deploy a similar plan that they used against Lamar Jackson earlier in the season. Keep Mahomes in the pocket, play some tight coverage with the safeties over the top to prevent Worthy and Norton from getting open on some deep shots. Mahomes is the leading rusher for the Chiefs this season. Detroit must keep him in that just keep crushing that pocket. You know what I'm saying? That good shell where they have guys at different levels, making sure they're spying on this guy, man, to keep him in the pocket. Like I said, he's the leading rusher this year. So, and attack. You got to attack him once he tries to escape out of that pocket, man. I know Shep doesn't like to use quarterback spies, but Casey Rogers talked him into it against the Ravens, and I think we should do the same thing versus Patrick Mahomes, man. It works to get Lamar. It should work against Patrick Mahomes because we know Mahomes is good, but as far as his foot speed, he's not as fast as Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? We can be able to do that, hold him down in that pocket, man. Secondly, I think the Lions have a really good run defense. We know that, man. But Kareem Hunt and Pacheco are starting to find their groove, man. But you got to keep them but they're far away from they were last season. Their running offense is not the same. I think their run defense needs to keep them at bay and prevent Mahomes from getting into that play action. Because if you can't run the ball, can't use play action, and we know Mahomes is good at play action as well. And that kind of controls that middle of the field with a guy like Kelsey, where he's not getting as many opportunities because they're not using the play action with those tight ends. So, and we have good coverage tight ends that can take on a Travis Kelsey. We have a guy like Alex Anzalone that can play, man on man coverage against a guy like Travis Kelsey, who, like say he's not as as good as he once was. He's still dangerous, but you're not gonna see him just like totally destroying defensive back like he did like he did back in the day. But you have to have that front seven to be aggressive but control against that Chiefs rushing attack, and have that that back end and linebacker level of that front seven playing good coverage, because this is going to be a 3-level coverage type of game. You have to cover Mahomes in the pocket. You have to cover those good. They have another tight end that's pretty good as well, and then make sure you cap those guys on the back end of that defense, man. Now, one thing I will say, and it's kind of troubling, that the Lions will be playing a bunch of new players in the secondary this week, because you look at it, both starting corners are down, but you bring in Amika Robertson, you got Rock Ya-Sin, Avante Maddox, then you got the new guys, you got Millette, then you got Trey Flowers. The positive thing is that most of these guys are former starters. Now, are they in their prime? Absolutely not. Can't say that because it's not true. But they have enough starting experience to be able to be plug and play in this system that the Detroit Lions run. So, the Lions brought in a lot more experienced veterans that they had at the cornerback position that they had in the past. You look at, we don't have that Kendall Vildor type of player. We got these guys that were high level corners that were starting on their previous team. So make sure you check, they should be able to handle, playing against the Chiefs this week. And it's going to be contingent on our front seven and keep pressure on Mahomes, man. If you get that pressure on him, man, he can make an errant throw now and then, man, throw the ball to the Lions. He's done it before. So those are my strategies on the defensive side of the ball, man. Let's see what you guys are saying back in the chat. So let's go ahead and get back into this thing, man. Of course, I've been blessed recently to give back to creators I support. Of course, man, we appreciate your support, man. Thank you, Lauren Vander Esch, man. Keep Patty dancing, of course, man. I think Tesla will be an X factor this one matchup nightmare for the Chiefs' smaller secondary. Yes, they do have a smaller secondary, and they're very inexperienced. All right, very nice, Lauren Vander Esch, of course, man. Good for you, Lauren, of course, man. I'm not monetizing my channel, but I can help. I can bet it helps. Like it does. I really appreciate it, man. All right, Lauren Hookadoo says, Lauren, our grit runs deep. It does. The grit runs deep on the Boss Up Ball Out and the Lions community, man. One pride worldwide. You know what I'm saying? Protect golf. Jim, I appreciate you, man. Yes, you have to protect golf. And I think the fact that we're getting back Skip is a big thing, because when Decker went out last year, Skip came in and played really, really well. Didn't give up a lot of pressures, played good in the run game, and I think he's an upgrade over Manu. I don't think Manu's not risk ready yet to be on this stage, just quite yet. He showed flashes, he showed some promise, but Skip is an upgrade over Manu on the offensive line. Boss Abala, good morning, Courtney. How you doing? My strategy to score one more point in the other team. Rocky, Coach Rock, man, you tripping, man. Yeah, that's that's funny though. All right, Pierce said that this week is Blitzburg. Hey, I like that. Good, man. All right, spy on Holmes and cover Kelsey. Yes, definitely. Hello, Oyi Hamed from Facebook. Hello, how are you? We're good. Thank you for joining from Facebook. We appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us on the Boss Up All Our podcast. All right. Pierce says, if Branch can't go, who spies on Mahomes? I think what we used last time, we used kind of those 3-level linebackers, man. We had Nowalski in there, you had Derek Barnes in there, and you had Jack Campbell. They all kind of spied on him, man. Just like Rocky M says Barnes does, man. Yeah, him or Jack. Yeah, definitely. All right, contain, crush that pocket, force Mahomes to make mistakes. I believe that 100%. I appreciate that, Oren. All right, well, my man says, Lionel says, woo, Boss Up Ball Out family made another live cast again, man. We appreciate you hanging out, Lionel. If Zay Worthy can't go, man, it makes life easier. I believe that as well, man. He's been dealing with an ankle injury. He's had a lot of swelling in that thing, man. And he's been hobbled a little bit. He's not as fast as down the field. He's still fast, but he's not as fast as he usually is when he's 100% healthy. And we know we're not going to see Rashee Rice in this game, man. And I think we can handle those because they have some guys that are not as fast in the middle of the field. Because you got a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster, who's not as fast. He's bigger body, but he's not as fast. And then, of course, Hollywood Brown, he's not as fast as he once was. Their burners are Thornton and, of course, Xavier Worthy. I think Barnes was the guy in Baltimore. He was. Think with him and the young fella Nowalski, man, they did a good job of shadowing Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. All right, morning all. Good morning, Jennifer. How you doing? Good to see you this morning. Good to see you in the chat this morning. Good morning. All right, I know we need to watch out for Karlaftis. Man, Karlaftis is a good player, man. He is, man. You gotta make sure you watch out for that guy. I think our offensive line, our defense, our tackles can handle Karlaftis, man. To me, it's going to be the interior. Can they handle keeping Chris Jones off of Jared Goff? That's the guy I'm worried about as well. But Karlaftis is good. well, we're going to need to put so much pressure on Patrick. He's going to be flat. I agree with that. Who could do? Appreciate you. All right. If moving Sue over on the table, I think long term it's prudent to move Sue over. I don't think that they're considering that right now. I just don't. I just think that they're going to keep the guys where they are. Like I said, with Skip being back, I just think that is going to be one. I don't think Sewell. I don't think. No, I don't think. I'm saying he won't move over. Don't get me the line. I just don't think that they're considering moving him over. Not right now. But hey man, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us get this content to more Detroit Lions fans, just like yourself. All right, let's kind of look at some injury updates and some roster updates, man. Of course, if you don't know that before we get into that, the Boss Up Ball Out podcast is sponsored by Dubby Energy Drink. Packed with some brain boosting amino acids and some vitamins. No sugar. Get your pump for tackling your daily tasks, man. Try all the flavors. You can find a link to buy Dubby in the link in the description of this video, man. It costs you about $1 a drink, Great alternative to can or coffee beverages, man. And is with no crashes or jitters. Put in that code Boss Up Ball Out Pod for 10% off your order. Power your day with Dubby. All right. So the Lions announced some roster moves this week. If you didn't know, let's go ahead and tell you. They put Khalil Dorsey on reserve injured, and I just talked about it a little bit ago, man. My man, Big Skip, Dan Skipper, is back on the active roster from the practice squad. Love to see that. They signed cornerback Arthur Mallett to the practice squad, and Mallett has ties to Dan Campbell and to some of the other coaching staff as well. He's one of those guys. During 2023, he was the starting nickel for the Baltimore Ravens, and they had a really good defense that year. So we check that out. All right, on the injury updates, man, Brian Branch was limited this week with an ankle injury. We talked about it on Lions Talk Live, getting an MRI on his foot. So more news should come out later today. I don't have much on that. I don't want to really dig deep into that. Now the Lions took another hit to that secondary as Avonte Maddox was limited yesterday with a hamstring injury. Tackle Giovanni Manu was limited yesterday with a knee injury. Khalif Raymond returned to practice, but in a limited capacity with a neck injury. Saint and Big Mac were full participants. It looked like that Aleem McNeil could be close to returning this week. I hope that is the case, man. But there are no updates on Zach Cunningham with the hamstring injury, Shione Vaki, Taylor Decker, or Kobe Joseph. Those guys haven't practiced this week. But I think Decker and Kirby are getting that kind of Calvin Johnson and Frank Ragnow treatment where they kind of just, they do a little bit on Friday and they practice like the walkthrough and then they play on Sunday. So those are your injury and roster updates for the week, man. Thank you guys for tuning in right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. Let's get back into this chat, man, because you guys the chat is on fire this morning, man. Y'all definitely doing some good stuff, man. All right, so let's look at see that I want to get back into it. Okay, if let's look how the Bucks do. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like Pierce, how the Bucks moved Tristan Wirfs over to left tackle from right tackle. That's possible. I get what you're saying. And we all know that it's not like foreign for Penei Sewell to play left tackle. He played left tackle in college at Oregon, but I mean, guys are all pro tackle. He'll be an all pro tackle wherever he plays, but he's the best right tackle in the league right now. All right, Lions need to chase Mahomes off his spot and control the game on the ground, man, with time of possession by a large margin. I believe that so, Nick P. I think that the line, one of the best things for the Lions offense this week, or the Lions defense, is for their offense to control the clock. I believe that 100%, Nick. All right, I think that the number one guy is Juju Smith-Schuster for the Chiefs right now. Maybe. Could be, of course, Hollywood Brown as well. Go, yeah. Offensively, we gotta run We got to get the run game going with Sonic and Knuckles and control that game clock. Beat Mahomes by keeping him on the sideline. Of course, the same thing we did with Lamar Jackson, man. Kept him on the sidelines. All right, who lines up at cornerback for us this week? Motown Mitch. Looks like it's going to be Amik Robertson at one corner. Probably going to be Rocky Yasin at the other corner. And you look at maybe Avonte Maddox playing the slot. If it's not a Maddox in the slot, they may move Avonte Maddox back to safety. If Brian Branch is healthy enough, you maybe can move him into the slot. All right. Nick P, honestly, I don't see Brian Branch playing secondary replacements. Hopefully have the games of their lives. Yeah, I mean, but these guys, they're not rookies. Like, these aren't young, like, guys who are just coming off the street, man. These are guys with serious starting time in the league. So, you know, you have that. So, Nick, I expect a lot of I expect a lot of Packers games from last year after Thanksgiving. Lots of fourth down and simple defense. Yeah, the offense is going to be that. I think the offense is going to have to carry the load in this game. I believe that. Drinking some Dubby right now is it's almost Honolulu Blue. Okay. All right, Curt, you're at over 3,000 subscribers. Who could do, man? Hit that like button, folks, man. Yeah, we appreciate you. Yeah, definitely. And then I meant more so after Deck retires. Oh, okay. So you're talking about. I hear what you're saying, Pierce. So once Taylor Decker retired, you move. They may draft a left tackle. You never know. I mean, you may want to, but I get what you're saying. Like, you put him over at the left tackle. He's an all-pro wherever you put that guy on the offensive line, left tackle, right tackle. He's all world, man. And the guy just turned 25. So happy birthday to Penei Sewell. Yesterday was his birthday. He turned 25. The guy's only 25 years old. The guy's a two-time first team all-pro, and he's only 25 years old. Like, what kind of crap? Like, what is that, man? Brad Holmes, man. And if you guys were watching back, I know we have a few people. I don't know if we have it in the chat right now, but when I was with my man Jim Bordeaux over at Detroit Lions on the Prod, myself, he and Coach Jones we were watching live. We were over on Belly Up Sports on their draft network, on their podcast, and we were so happy when the Dolphins took Jalen Waddle, because we knew that Penei Sewell was coming to Detroit. So that was great, man. Love Penei Sewell. All right, what up, though, Coach Jones, man? The Wolverine Lion, Coach Jones, is in the building, man. Great job, man. Thank you for what you do over here on our channel, man. We appreciate you, brother. I know you're out there cooking us some stuff, man. So we appreciate you, man. Let me get a quick drink right quick. All right. It is that time, man. It's almost time to get on out of here, man. Y'all know how we do it on Fridays. It's like the old school Dominoes, 30 minutes or less, and it's always free. Hey, if you want to become a channel member, go ahead and check out the link. It's in the description of the video. My man Lauren Vander S gifted 5 free channel memberships in this live stream. So go check it out, man. You can scroll up. It's a green box, man, where you can join and become a channel member today. And it's on Lauren, man. We appreciate you. All right, man. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button, man. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, please follow the crew on your favorite social media platforms. Let me get this comment up here so we can see this. Coach Jones does a great job posting his content over there on Wolverine Sports Talk. And, of course, I post content from this channel on all of my social media platforms, man. And yesterday was Thirsty Thursday, so make sure you go check out LL's Instagram page, man. Those stories are great, man. So make sure you check that out, man. We appreciate y'all right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for our prediction game show. It'll air at roughly around 8 o'clock. The normal time, but make sure you come in and check that out, man. We'll go over all the betting information, injury reports for the game on Sunday, man. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in with us right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. If you're having a good day, make sure you're starting this Friday all right, because the weekend is here, baby. Make sure you spread that joy to someone, man, because you never know when a small, kind word can change someone's outlook on their life or just their day. If you're not having a good day, please do not steal no one else's joy. And of course, whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. This is Curt Steele, and of course, I will holla at you real soon.